Alright guys, this is just a bit of a fun one. I created this video just to say thank you all for the 3,000 subscribers. I'm amazed. I didn't think I would get this far, so just so very appreciative of your time in watching this. If you're interested in how that little animation got made at the very start of the video, then keep watching, because we go through the process of how I built it after the fade. So first things first, I want to bring this in over here and bring the layers tab in here so we can actually see what we're doing. And so you've seen the finished version of this game. I haven't even started this game yet. So this is me at the very start here. So I want to, I just want to create a background that's got, or not a background, but images that fit inside this shape here. So I want this to be pixel perfect as well, so I don't want to have any edges on it. So I got this here. Sometimes find this therapeutic. If you want to fast forward this part of the video, feel free to fast forward the part of the video. I will put a link somewhere up here, up there somewhere, that will allow you to fast forward past this bit of the video, just in case you're not really interested in watching a grown man play around with Photoshop. And you know, not many people are that interested. Oh no, just missed a bit there. But the idea is that we'll separate all these out, and then we'll let Unity pick and match, because I'm not really too fussed about. I'm going to keep that there, because I do actually want to fill that with. I'm going to make one subtle change to this sprite, which is going to give it a little bit of color, which is that color there. I'm going to make that slightly darker, and then I'm going to make those darker there. So it's kind of going to be a darker image there. I get rid of the background as well, because it's going to be that there. And so I can get rid of this one now. Okay. And then this is the tank. So we have our tank here. And again, we'll make that an individual image. And we'll get rid of these bits here. So this is the sort of bit of the videos that you don't see, is the sort of preppy bits that I do for not all of the videos, but certainly some of the videos. And again, I'm not too fussed about where these placements are, because again, I'm going to fix them in Unity, so I can get rid of these as well. And that one there. In fact, I'm going to drag this over to here, so you don't need to see that. And then this one here. Oops. Why is that empty? It's not empty. What? What is going on here? No, it isn't. Oh, because it's there. Ha! That'll be why. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit trickier, because yeah, I'm going to make this red. Because it's going to be the exploded version of the UFO. So I'm going to make this red. Again, you've seen this bit, I haven't. So this is going to be this color. And I'm going to make that red. And then I'm going to do that and then delete. Okay, so that is going to be that shape there. So I can move this over to here. So it's kind of going to be the explosion-y bit there. Okay, and now this one here, I actually just want this bit here. So let's copy, again, copy, and now this is green. So I'm gonna make this shot green as well. Just so that we can sort of differentiate where these colors are coming from. And then the last bit is I want to create the numbers. So the numbers are going to be, copy, again, picking the wrong layer. So that's 3. And then I want to have 0, B, and 0, and there. So that's going to be the sort of subscriber count version of that. And for this, I think I'm actually going to have a border around here. So I'm going to have 2 there, and then 2 pixels here, and 2 pixels here, and do that there. So that's going to give me my 3000 there. And the last bit of the puzzle is going to be this part here. So I'm going to grab this right there. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to put this on here and here. So this is kind of wasteful, I guess, in that we're not going to be using all the sprites and things, but it gets the sort of the job done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this off, and I'm going to create a project just now, but I'm going to fast forward it starting now. Okay, and we're back. So now we should have a project with art inside here, and we've got Space Invaders sprites. And what we're going to do is we're going to make that a multiple, and we're going to change that to one pixel per unit. And click on apply. Point no filter. I want to click on apply again. Wrap mode is going to be clamp is fine. And then I want to go to the sprite editor because it's multiple sprites. So multiple sprites, and then I'm going to choose slice and automatic, and it's going to be the center, delete existing, and then I'm going to click on slice, and it should find all of these ones here. So it did kind of find them all, but it's kind of found all these kind of crazy awkward ones here, which is not exactly what I wanted it to do. So I am going to do slice, delete existing. What I'm going to do, sprite editor, edit outline, apply. So these are no good. Okay, I'm gonna click on revert. Sprite editor. So that is this one here. That's right. That one's right. That one's right. That one's right. There isn't one here, so I'm gonna create one. This is where zooming in comes in a little bit handy. And then these ones here, I'm gonna create this big one here, like so. Why did that go into the green one? I didn't want that one there. Alright, and I will call that explosion. Explosion. And I'll call that UFO. And I'm going to call this one tank. And this is going to be called tank missile. Yeah, doesn't matter. 3,000 subs. And then this is going to be barricade. Just making sure I'm recording there. And that's right. And then click on apply and then OK. So I don't need any of these. So I think I can delete these. No, I can't, but whatever. All right. So first things first, I want to change the background. I want the background to be black because it's a black background. I want to have multiple barricades. I want to have 3 barricades there. Now you notice that the screen has just suddenly gone green, and there's a very good reason for that. We need to zoom out of the screen here. So I'm going to change the camera size to something much, much bigger. So it's going to be the height of the screen that we want. So we can choose any size we want, but I'm going to choose something kind of that size there. So let's make that 140. That's good enough. And now I can zoom out just a little bit and I can see where my screen is. So I can add a barricade here and I can duplicate that and I can add another barricade here-ish, and then duplicate another barricade and here. Now if you're dragging this out, you can clamp it. So you notice how I'm going like that and it's not moving. That's because it is clamped vertically. It's clamped horizontally by holding down the shift key. So stop that there. Then I'm going to grab all 3 of them and then just sort of eyeball the sort of center of the which is roughly there. Okay, so that's the center there, so that's got to come out just a little bit. So that is at -5, that should be 0, and that should be -85 just to keep things consistent, and that should be 176. I'm going to make that 176, and that should be -85, and that means that this should be -176, and that should be -85, and then that means that we've now got something that's equidistant from each other. So I'm going to save this as a scene. So scenes, and my scene is going to be called Space Invaders. Thank you. Because thank you for subscribing. And I'm going to add my tank. So my tank is going to go in the scene now. And my tank is going to be down here somewhere. So this is a kind of good position for the tank. So let's make that -115. And we'll start that at -120. I can make it -60. 160, so it's underneath there. That looks good. You got the kind of general idea. Now what I want to do is, and again, you've seen this, I haven't seen this because I've recorded the intro, little behind the scenes info here. I record the intro after I've shot the video. Same way I do the outro as well. So you've seen the video, I haven't seen the video, so I have no idea what this is going to look like. Maybe it doesn't work, but okay. I guess we'll find out. So I want my spaceship, I want the tank to move over to here in line with the UFO, and when the tank fires here, I want the UFO to explode and say 3,000. That's what I wanted to do. So that's what we're going to set up just now. I'm going to do some kind of scripting here. So I'm going to create an empty object, and the empty object is going to be the same position as our our middle one here. So that's our middle barricade here. So I'm going to do copy transform, copy component, and paste transform values. And then I'm going to call this barricades. And I just want to tidy this up just a little bit so that we're not tripping over these things. So that's barricades in there. So if we hide that, then you can see that, you know, our barricades are all together. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to have my UFO coming in from the side. So from the side, that's going to be up here-ish. So that's going to be about here, which obviously we can't see there. So that's negative 300, just to keep the math simple, and we'll make that 80 as well. So that's roughly where we want everything to be. And then the other one is the explosion. So we'll create an explosion here. And we will also create the tank missile here. And where's the other one as well? We need the 3000 subs as well. So that's the 3000 subs is gonna appear somewhere over here-ish. Okay. Now, my plan for this video, and again, not sure if it works, and I really should stop pointing this out. My plan is that I'm going to use a very, very basic scripting setup. I'm going to create a series of blocks, and then we're going to run through those blocks, and then that'll script the action. That's the idea. So we'll see if that works. Okay. So the first thing first is let's get a movement script in here. So I'm going to get this UFO to move to this point over here. So it's currently negative 300, so I'm going to make it move to positive 300. All right. So what we need to do for that is we need to write some scripts. So I'm going to create a folder here. Scripts. And I'm going to call this simple scriptable. Simple scriptable. That sounds good enough. And my simple scriptable, once I fire up community, is just going to do that. It's going to run through a series of scripts inside the object, and then it's going to run through them one at a time until it's been complete. So that's the idea. All right. So our simple scriptable is going to pick up a series of scriptable objects from this here. So I'm going to say list I'll call this scriptable behavior, and I'll call this scriptables. And now I don't have this type just yet, so I'm going to create this type, but this is the sort of general idea. I'm going to say, now, do I want this to start when, let's do public bool run on startup. So tooltip, the scriptables will execute when the object starts. Okay, and then I'll do enumerator. It's not private. Enumerator start, and I'm going to say if not run on startup, yield return yield break. Else yield return run scriptables. Okay. And then I'm going to have a public method here because I want to be able to run the scriptable from another object as well. So I want to be able to trigger that. So I need a public one here. So I'm going to create a public method here. Public enumerator run scriptables. And then this scriptables here is going to go through each and every one of these and run it, and then it's going to exit the thing. So this is just a very, very simple scripting type behavior. So I'm going to say run scriptable. So for each scriptable in scriptables. So again, we don't have that just yet, but we will by the end of the next couple of minutes. What are we at? 22 minutes in just now. So the next couple of minutes we'll have it. And then we're going to say yield return scriptable dot run. And that's it. That's all we need to do in there. Just need to do scriptable dot run. And that is all we have. That's all we need to do. I'm going to tidy this up a little bit. And that is our sort of simple scriptable type object. And we will put this on our UFO, and then we'll create another scriptable behavior, and we'll put that inside. We'll create another class from there. I'll explain it in just a sec. So I'm trying to get ahead of myself here. So this is going to be a base class, and this base class is going to contain this method here, this run method. The run method is the thing that does all the work, but that will only be created in derived classes of this, in other words, child classes of this. So if you think of things like, if you have an animal class, a derived class of that could be dog, or it could be bird, or cat, or anything like that. And then you might have a method in animal class that says make noise. So when you call make noise on a dog object, it's going to say woof. And when you do the same on a cat, it's going to say meow. When you say a bird, it's going to say chirp or whatever. So that's what we're going to do for this class here. So if I go to my assets, scripts, and then I create add class, and then I choose my scriptable behavior, and I just make this a mono behavior. So call it scriptable behavior, add, and then I'm going to make this an abstract class, which means you can't create this class. You have to create classes that derive from this class. And then I'm going to create public abstract enumerator run. This method must be implemented in child classes of this type, for this type. So any class that derives from this must implement this. Okay, and you'll see that this is now happy. There's no red lines. Everything's good. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to create another scriptable behavior that moves something. So I'm going to create a folder here called Scriptables, and inside Scriptables I'm going to create another mono behavior, but this time the mono behavior is going to be called move from to. Call it that, move from to. And you could add scriptable or some other postfix or prefix, whatever it is. I'm just going to call it the name of the class. So move from to. I'm going to click on add. Now instead of mono behavior, what I want to do is I want to implement this class here. So scriptable behavior. So instead of mono behavior, I'm going to say scriptable behavior. And now if I wait for a second, you'll see that it's gone red here, and it says move from to does not implement inherited abstract member scriptable behavior dot run. So what does that mean? That means that we need to put that method in our class. So there's no option against it. We have to put a method like that. So we can click on the quick action there, and we can choose implement abstract class, and this will just put everything in there for us. And you see that it's added the system up there as well. And you see that it says throw not implemented exception. We're going to delete that because we're going to implement it. And you notice that it says public override as well, because That's what we're doing, we're overriding it. Okay, so I'm going to have public transform start, public transform end. So I'm going to go from there to there, and then I'm going to say float public float duration. So it's going to default to 1 second, and then my enumeration is going to run through this enumeration while we are still doing this particular task. So what does that mean? Well, it means that float time equals 0, and then I can do while time is less than 1, and then I want to lerp between these 2 points here. So what are those points there? Well, those points are the start and end point. So I can do vector 3 start point equals start dot position, vector 3 end point equals end dot position. So it makes the code a little bit simpler down here. And now what I want to do is I want to linearly interpolate between these. Now what the heck does that mean? Well, there's a library for that, that's mathf, and it has a lerp function in there, which is from our A, B, and T. So it goes from this value to this value in float t. Now we could use this, and we could do this for every component, the x, the y, and the z for vector 3, or we could do vector 3 dot, and then you'll see that it's also got lerp, which linearly interpolates between the two vectors. So our current position is going to be our interpolation between the position at this time and the distance between our first position and our last position. So we're going to do vector 3 lerp, and then it's going to be our start position, our end position, and then our current time, which just happens to be called time. And now all we do is we do transform dot position equals current position, and that sets the current position. And then we add our current delta time, which is given to us by Unity, divided by the duration, and that will give us, so we can then specify whether it's 5 seconds or 2 seconds or whatever it is. It's whatever distance we've got in there. So our time is equal to time plus time dot delta time divided by duration. So in our default one, it's going to take 1 second, and then we have to do yield return null. And then at the very end here, what we want to do is we want to make sure that that's at the current position. So the trick I do here, and I did this in one of the September videos, and if I remember rightly, I'll put the link up somewhere up there. We actually created a factory for this, and I'm not using that just now. But if I'd remembered to use that factory, then we would be using that rather than this. But anyway, I'm going to clamp it to the very end there. So I'm going to say that the current position is at time 1. I think I can just use current position there, and then I can just set, oh no, I need to do this, var current position equals current position. Okay, because it's using this variable name again, it doesn't like that. And we can get rid of system because we don't need it anymore. And that's it. So we're going to go, basically this is going to move from here to here, and it's going to last 1 second. So we're going to change that to 5 seconds to make it a little bit slower. And then this is where the sort of magic happens, which is our enumerator, which says we're going to run from here to here, and we're going to linearly interpolate between the start position and the end position, and that's going to give us our straight line drop there. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to create an empty object, and this is going to be called UFO start, and this is going to be called UFO end, and our start is going to be the same position as the start there. So I'm going to do copy component, and I'm going to do paste component values. And I'm going to do the same for the end one as well. Paste component values, but I'm going to change that to 300. So now that you can, I don't know if you can see that, pick that up on the screen there, but that's moved to there. So we have UFO start, which is over here, and we have UFO end, which is over here as well. And that's it. Actually, if I move it to 3D, you can probably see it a little bit better. Okay. So there's our end marker, and there is our start marker. Okay. Move it back to 2D because that's what we're kind of working in. Okay. And now for the UFO, I add our scriptable, simple scriptable, and we can run it on startup, and we'll also add our move from to. And so this is our simple scriptable here. We want to run it on startup for now, but in reality we probably don't want to do that just yet. So I'm going to mark that as being to start up there. I'm going to say UFO start. I'm going to drag that into there, and I'm going to do UFO end. I'm going to drag that into there, and I'm going to make it last for 5 seconds. So when we run the game, this UFO should take 5 seconds to go across the screen. And I'm getting an old reference. Where are we getting an old reference in? Script and scriptables. Ah, okay. So what I also need to do in here is I need to do void awake. I want private. What I want to do is I want to get all the components that match scriptable behavior, and I want to add them into scriptables here. So actually I probably want to do IEnumerable scriptable behavior. So let's change it to that. And then I'm going to say scriptables equals get components scriptable behavior. And that will get our values, that will get all the components that are scriptable behavior. So our move from to is a scriptable behavior, and that's what we're going to, so yeah, our scriptable behavior there. And so we should end up with something that's running. So everything's okay, compiled, and there we go. There's our UFO moving across the screen. And it will stop. Once it gets there, it will stop. That's it. The thing's over. So this is just a very, very simple way to do a sort of scriptable object. And you see that it does move across the screen there. So maybe we want to make it a little bit slower than that. So maybe we want to make it 10 seconds. And you'll see that now it's going to be half the speed. So there it is there. Okay, now the complicated thing is what we want to do now is we want to move our tank to about here. Oh, sorry, I'm pointing at the screen. We want to move the tank from about here to about here and then fire. And then once we fire, the bullet's going to hit here. That's the idea. And we're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to move the bullet using the script, but you know, which is okay because I think what we can do is we can use our move to move the bullet at a particular point in time and get it to fire from the position, because the position comes in at the time that you run there. So I'm going to wait for a second, then get it to run, and then yeah, do it that way. I'm not entirely sure how we can do that just yet, but we'll figure something out. Okay, so I want to get the tank to move to about here. That's easy enough done because I just get the tank. Where are we? Tank. I'm going to move this up a wee bit to here. Barricades, tank, UFO. Okay, so here's our tank, and I want to do scriptable behavior, and then I want to do move from to, and then the start is again going to be UI, oh no, create empty, This is going to be tank start, and this is going to be tank end. Okay, so tank start is going to be the same as the tank start. So copy component, paste component values, and then we'll do the same thing for this, paste component values, and then tank end. I want to move it kind of over to about here-ish. So let's say that's 70. That sounds good. And our tank, so that's our tank start and our tank end. And our duration is going to be 4 seconds maybe. And we'll get that to run on startup as well. Okay, I think that's looking okay. So if we get it to do that, okay, maybe make it 5 seconds so that it's going to be a little bit longer. So you can imagine you could do this for kind of cutscenes and things. So it's going to take 5 seconds to get to there. Is that going to be enough time? And then fire the missile, and then that takes that time to there. I think that's a good enough time. Okay, so once we get to that point in space, we then want to move the missile, which is this thing over here. We then want to move the missile up in the air. And again, that's going to be our movement here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another interactive scriptable that says run scriptable. And that scriptable is going to look a bit like this. So we're going to do add class, and then we're going to say run scriptable. Let's do run target scriptable. Okay, and this is going to be a scriptable behavior. And again, we need to implement the abstract class. And our target scriptable behavior is going to be our scriptable behavior. So we're going to do public scriptable, simple scriptable. So that simple scriptable is our runnable object. This is the one that contains all the scripts. So simple scriptable, and we'll just call that runnable target. So we'll call it runnable target. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to immediately come back out of this. So we're going to say runnable target dot. Actually, it would be. Do we want to wait for it to end? Let's do that just now. Target dot run scriptables. So let's wait for it to end, but we may want to change that. We may want to make that like a Boolean value. So maybe you don't want to return it, or you want to. Or in fact, let's do that. Let's do public bool immediate return, and we'll set that to be false. In fact, let's make that underneath here. So we'll make that to be false, and then we'll say if immediate return, we will do this yield break, else yield there. Okay, so if we want to immediately return, then we will run the scriptable and then break out of the exception. Otherwise, we will run the scriptable and return that enumerator there. So it will wait, the calling object will wait until the other one has finished. Okay, good, excellent. Right, and the bullet is going to begin from the center here and go up to here-ish. Okay. So our bullet tank missile is going to have a scriptable on it. So simple scriptable. And we're not going to run it on startup, but we are going to have a move from to. And our move from to is going to be the start transform is going to be our tank, because we don't know where the tank's going to be. It's going to be here somewhere. And then the end is going to be further up. So our tank end is, we're going to have to create a missile end here. So we're going to do create missile end. And our missile end is going to have the same X value, copy component, as our tank end. Now, hopefully this works, but it's going to have the same Y value as our UFO. So our Y value for the UFO is 80. Okay. And what do we have here? So we have our missile has tank there and then missile end. So we're getting the missile to fire up there. Now again, we haven't written that many objects. We've only written the move one and we've written the run one, and that's it. And the duration is going to be a second. We might have to figure that out for timing. It might have to be less than that. We don't want it to run on startup, but the tank now has to have an additional script, and that is going to be our run target scriptable. And our run target scriptable is going to point to our missile. So tank missile. Okay. Hopefully what will happen is the tank will move across to here, it will fire the missile, and the UFO will pass by it. That's my hope. So here's what we should get. Okay. It worked. Let's try that again. I can't believe that worked first time. Must be something wrong with it. Okay, so that is there. Ooh. Okay, I think we can actually make that just a little bit slower, the tank missile. So let's make it 1.1 seconds. Okay. And then we'll do 1.1. There you go. That's a direct hit. Wow, I can't believe this is... What are we at? 44 minutes? There we go. Okay. All right, and then what we want to do is we want to move this to here, and we want to kill this one here. All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll cheat. I'm going to create two scripts here. I'm going to create a spawn, move immediate. Move immediate. So it's going to move immediately to a point. And then I want to create another one. And that is going to be a hide game object. And what else do I want to do? I want to have a wait as well. Wait for. And I think that's all I want. That's all I need to have down there is hide game object. Sorry, you guys seen this? So I've got hide game object, move from to, move immediate, run target, wait for it. And I think that's all I need, because what I want to happen is the missile fires up here, it hits the UFO gets replaced by this, it waits for just a second, and then it shows 3000, deletes the missile, all that kind of stuff, and that's it. I think that's everything I need to do. Okay. I am going to reload the solution. Yep, that's fine. That's okay. Okay, so hide game object is dead easy. So this is going to be our scriptable behavior. And our scriptable behavior is going to implement our abstract class. And our abstract class is going to be public game object target dot set active false. Actually, hide game object. Yeah, I'm going to say public bool show object, and I'm going to say target dot set active show object. And so that one is really simple. All it does is it's just going to show an object. So that's hide there. Move immediate is going to be easy as well, because we just want this to move something immediately to it. So scriptable behavior. And again, we want to implement our abstract class, and then we have public transform target. And this is going to be transform dot position equals target dot position. Yield return null. And that's that. So that's all we have there. Is we have our public target, so that's where we want the object to move to, and then we just set that to be there. And then wait for it is we just want something to wait for a certain amount of time. So this is going to be a scriptable behavior. Public void public float duration. We'll give that 1f, and then we will do this one's easy because we can just do yield return new wait for seconds duration, and that's it. We're so done with that. That is that class. That's it. That's all we need to do for that class. And I think that's all the scriptables we need. So our script now is when the bullet gets to that point, it then kills itself. So our tank missile moves from there to there, and then we can do hide game object, and we're not showing the game object, but we do want to hide that object. We then want to move our explosion to this point here. Now I think we can do move immediate, but that's not going to move it to there. So I'm going to do remove component, and I'm going to change move to. So I'm going to say move immediate is going to have public transform object to move, and then I'm going to say void wake if object to move is null, object to move equals transform. So if the object hasn't been set, then we set it to be the current object. But in this case, I want to move the explosion to that point there. So the tank missile is hidden. I want to hide the game object tank missile. I also want to hide the game object UFO. And I want to move the explosion to that position. So I want the object to move to there, and I want the target to be the tank missile. I want to move it to that same position. So wherever that explosion happened. And then I want to wait for 0.25 seconds. And then I want to show, oh, no, hang on a second. I'm going to move this back up. So I want to move the missile from the tank to the missile end, which is up here. I want to hide the game object, just make sure it's in the frame here. I want to hide the game object at the very top there, which is the tank missile. I want to hide the UFO because we've destroyed the UFO. And then I want to show the explosion here. And then finally I want to wait for a quarter of a second. And then I want to show... actually, I need to move immediately. I want to move 3,000 subs to the same position as our tank missile, and that's it. I think we're done. So let's run it and see what happens. Partial success. So I want to move that to there, move that to there. Immediate. So did explosion not happen? Did that not move? Let's see what it looks like in the game. So I'm going to click on the scene here. So this is our scene. Missile fires. Boom. Oh, I know why. Because we set it to be active. We don't want to do that. We want to hide it, because when we set it to be inactive in the scene, we are actually turning it off. Like, we're turning off the entire object. So what we want to do is we want to stop the sprite render from running. So let's add another one. We'll keep that one because we might need that later. But I'm going to have another mono behavior here that's going to be toggle sprite render. Okay, for lack of a better word, and this is going to be a scriptable behavior. And I need to implement this here. And we're back. Right, so I want to toggle the sprite renderer. So that's going to be public sprite renderer. And I'm just going to call this the sprite. And then I'm going to say sprite.set. No, it's just enabled, isn't it? Equals, and then it's going to be public bool sprite enabled, and we'll default that to false. Sprite enabled, and it's going to be yield return null, because we just want to return null to the caller there. So now our toggle sprite renderer, we're going to have to go to our tank missile here, and this is where it gets rather interesting, and it's kind of cool the fact that we did it this way, is that I need to inject it in here. Now you notice that everything goes from top to bottom, and that's a great thing, is the fact that Unity knows the order of where the components are. So I'm going to add a, what's it called, sprite, toggle sprite renderer. And we need 2 of these as well, so I'm going to add another one. Renderer. Oh no. Okay, not a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to say, and this is going to be sprites. And then we're going to say for each var sprite in sprite. There we go. So that's that sorted. The only problem is, oh no, it's okay. We want to hide both of those as well. That's fine. But we do want to move this up. So we want to move up, move up, move up, and that's as a hide game object script. So for here, we want to hide the UFO. So our UFO, so we're going to add UFO there. And we also want to hide the tank missile, which is the one that we're actually on just now. So we want to put that in there. And then we want to remove this component here and remove this component here. So again, this is a basic scripting system. It's not meant to replace like Playmaker or anything, but it's just a kind of fun little exercise because I've got 3,000 subs and I want to do a kind of long-ish video to celebrate that fact. So running this, we should get this disappearing now. No, we're still not getting it. So sprite enabled, wait for it, and move immediate. Let's see what it looks like in the scene. So this should move over to here, which is not doing, but UFO is moving. So it's not moving tank missile. So move immediate, wait for that, and then we want to do move immediate again. So maybe the wait for script is not working there. Wait for duration. Okay. I think move immediate. Let's remove this component just now. So let's remove wait and then we'll see what happens. So it's not even moving. See, it's not moving that. So it's hiding it, it's just not moving this. So move immediate. Let's see if it hits it. So I'll attach that to Unity. Object to move. If object to move is null, object to move equals transform. Okay. So let's move that to here and see what happens. Okay. Oh, that's why. It's object to move. As soon as I saw that. It's the object we want to move, not the actual transform, because that's moving the bullet to there. So yeah, everything should now work. So if I do wait for, and then change that to 0.25. The only issue now is wait, I have two move immediates, but why wouldn't it let me do the toggle render? Okay. Did I? Was I okay, I was adding a sprite renderer, it doesn't like that. Okay, that's why. And so after this I want to move immediate there, and then I also want to add a toggle sprite renderer after that, and I want to hide the explosion to here, and that should be it. I think we're done. I think we're done. So got that there. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay, and one more for the thumbnail. Okay, I think we're done. Cool. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate your time that you take to watch these videos. There'll be another one by next Monday, I'm sure. That's the plan anyway, is that every Monday at midday Eastern time, because that's where I live, in the East Coast of the United States of America. Well, no, I don't live in the East Coast. It's the same time zone though. Yeah, 3,000. It's been amazing. So I very, 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 very want to say I want to say thank you all very much for watching. If you liked this video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. Leave a comment below. And if you like this video, please feel free to share it. If you have not subscribed and you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe, I want to get notifications from this guy, then you need to, it's like a 20-step program now from YouTube. So you need to subscribe, you need to hit the bell button thing, and then you need to say, do you get a check mark, and then there's an OK button, and then there's probably like a confirmation email, and then you got to send in a note for your mum. It's a whole big rigmarole, but it's totally worth it. New video every Monday. You don't have to pay for it, so it's a win-win. The only thing you need to do is spend your time watching these videos, and I very much appreciate that you do that. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you. I'm leaning further and further into the camera there. Thank you all so much once again, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye. Okay, and then I'm going to have a UI component, and it's going to be text. And then this text is going to say thank you. So it's going to be in the middle. Gonna be in the middle. Like so. And it is going to be white, obviously, because it's a light background. Thank you. And font size, it's going to be that. So in the game it's going to be there. And then 3,000 thank you. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to zoom in to that position. Do that as well. Yeah, maybe I just want to do that. Yeah, maybe I want to do that. So I want to have the camera position here. So the camera position is there, but I want to move the missile. I want to move it to the end of the missile. So I want to have a simple scriptable on here. I don't want to run it at startup, and I want to have a move from to. So move from, which is the current camera position, and then the end position is going to be, I'm going to create another one here, which is going to be camera end, and camera end is going to be the same position as the camera, which is, where is the position of the camera? So it's 0, 0, -10. So it's going to be the same position as this, but -10 on the Z axis. So copy component, camera end, paste component values, and then that's going to be -10. And then at the very end of the UFO, where's my missile? So at the very end, I'm going to set that to be runnable. So I'm going to say run target scriptable, and then the target is going to be the main camera. And I probably want to zoom in as well, but I'll try and handle that somehow. So let's see what we've got here. So ignore that thank you just now. Oh yeah, I need to put the camera end as well in there. So put camera end in there, and I actually want it to take like half a second for that, and I'll get rid of the canvas just now and then run it. So it should zoom in on that. Okay, and then I want it to also go I also want it to, let me add this one here. So this is going to be a scriptable, untarget scriptable, simple scriptable, and my simple scriptable is going to, I need another one. I need add class lerp camera size. Call it lerp camera size, and I'm going to lerp between the initial whatever the camera value is and then the new one. So it's going to be float new camera size, and this is going to be a scriptable behavior, and I need to implement that, of course. And I'm going to say camera, oops, it's going to be public camera. So I'm going to do float time equals 0. It's going to be public float duration equals that. While time is less than 1. So yield return null to make sure I'm doing that right. And then I want to lerp between the new camera size and that one there. So I'm going to do float existing equals cam.size. And then I'm going to say float current equals mathf.lerp. And then it's the existing size to the new size, which is going to be new camera size, and then the current time. And then cam.orthographic size equals current. And then time equals time plus delta time divided by duration. So again, this is why we should use the factory that I created in the videos for September, but obviously it didn't just now. And then at the very end, I'm just going to set that, clamp that to 1 var C equals that. Okay, and so this is very similar to what we had. Don't know why I'm doing this now. Sorry. This is very similar to what we always do, and that's why I ended up creating a factory for it. So I should bring these things in. What I should probably do is create a Unity package and then just bring that in every time we want to do these kind of things. But didn't do it for this one because it's just a little kind of throwaway project for 3,000 viewers. Or subscribers, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. So that's that there, and then I want to zoom in. What are we just now? So we're at size is 140. So maybe make it 70. So it's 140 just now, so let's make it 70. I think that should do. And so the camera end is going to be camera, alert camera size. New camera size is going to be 70, and I'm going to make that 0.75. So like 3/4 of a second it's going to take to zoom in there. And then I'm going to drag the camera in there. And then at the missile end here, tank missile, it says run script there, move the camera. I'm also going to add a run target, and then this one is going to be the camera end one, which also has a scriptable on there, and that's going to be an immediate return as well, because we're not interested in waiting for it. I remember I said at the start that when I was creating the run target scriptable, if I double click that, if we're doing an immediate return, it just runs the scriptable and then comes back out there. So it means that you can run things in parallel, and that's kind of what we want to do here. Is we want to be able to run this object that's going to do the pan, and we also want to run this camera object that's going to do the zoom at the same time. So hopefully this will then look quite nice. So we've got our thing here. Now nothing's working. Missile end. Nope. Tank missile. Immediate return. Oh, wait. That should be yield return null. That's why. Because if we break, that means that we're no longer processing anything. So have I done that elsewhere? Simple scriptable. Yeah, okay, that's fine in there. But for the rest of this, we want us to run, just keep running. So we should get a zoom in. Oh. So if I don't do an immediate return for any of these, is that going to work? Why is that not? I think we'll leave it for there just now. Okay. And then we'll move this down a little bit to about here, and then we'll add a canvas group. We'll change that to alpha 0, and then we'll add one more scriptable, which I didn't want to do that, which is change canvas alpha. So change canvas alpha, which is going to be, and again you can see these are kind of, you can combine these into all sorts of different sort of scriptable things. Scriptable behavior, public float new alpha, public float duration equals 1 second, and again we'll have that there. And then our run is going to be very similar to this one here. So I'm just going to grab that there and put that in there. And then our target, public canvas group, is going to be there. And then we're going to say the existing one is going to be our canvas group alpha. And our new camera size is actually our new alpha. And then our canvas group alpha is the current. And then we do the same thing down here. And that. Again, this is why we had the factory. And then change canvas alpha, and then we'll put that in at the very end here. And change canvas alpha. I'll drag that over to there, and 1 second is fine. We want the new alpha to be 1, and we are done. Done again. So we've got our maybe what we want to do is we want to add another bit of text in here. So let's bring this alpha up here, and so let's add another bit of text, and we'll rotate it just a little bit. And we'll change that to subscribers, and we'll change the font size to there, and we'll maybe make this a little bit red, like that, and put it around about here-ish. Okay, and because this is the part of the canvas, all I need to do is just bring that down to there, and then everything fades in. And have we finished? Is this the definite finish? Because this video is going on far too long. It's like an hour and a half now. I need to be down a little bit more. Okay. A little bit down to about there. That sounds about right. Sounds about right. Looks about right. And let's see if we got here. There you go. I think that's us. Finally, end of the video.